Good afternoon, everybody. Hope we are all well. I'm just letting Facebook catch up with what we're doing. There we go. We're all set. So yeah, hope you're all well on this lovely Thursday afternoon. Wind's got up a little bit just actually. But doors and windows are open because it's extremely close. But yeah, hi, my name's Lisa and I'm the face behind Lisa's Loft and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. If you're watching this live or on the replay, do leave me a comment. I love to read your comments. Yeah, I do tend to have a bit of a structure to my lives lately. I do a product showcase for a month, so I'm using that product for as many of my projects in that month as possible, bringing in other things to coordinate with it as needed. But yeah, and then I purchased the ultimate card making jumpstart with sketches from the Stampin' Lounge. And what I tend to do is one of those at the beginning of each live. That's what I do, and then go on to do something else afterwards, just so that in my head I've got an idea of what I'm doing rather than just coming on here and going, right, what shall we do? But if there is anything that you would ever like me to share or show how I do things, please let me know, and we can have a go together, maybe. If it's not something I'm sure of, I shall find out and we'll work it out together. So yeah, right, so let's switch our cameras and we will have a look at what we're doing today, other than me drinking tea. So we're going to grab our sketch, and I'm just making my way through the box in order. So we've got this sketch today. So we have a card base, a panel, a little tiny panel sticking out from behind, a sentiment with a panel below that, a bow, and then some images. Now you can use this as is and copy it directly, or you can use it for inspiration. We do have measurements on the back, but yeah, sometimes I do a mix of both. Sometimes I copy, sometimes I change. So we'll pop that there. And of course, this month we are using the Flowering Meadow Bundle. Now, it's a lovely bundle. Lots of little dainty flowers and some fabulous sentiments. Thanks, just because, cheering you on. You always make me smile, for showing you care, and so many reasons to celebrate. Now, my dog has just decided now is the time she would like to play. Okay, Evangeline, get it out. And she dropped a ball where she couldn't get on behind one of my trolleys. Right, hopefully she's happy now. Now she's got a ball. But yeah, I love this bundle. Now it is part of a larger suite. And it's part of the Velvet Meadow suite, which has some gorgeous papers. And it has a velveteen assortment, and these are flocked, so it's very tactile, and some nice little flower embellishments. But I'd got enough. There's two reasons I only bought the bundle. One, I've got enough designer series paper for now. I didn't want to purchase any more. I want to be better at using what I've got. And also I wanted to show that you don't have to buy everything. You can mix and match just bits from different suites, and with what you've got in your crafty stash. You don't have to have a whole suite if you don't want to, or if the bank balance doesn't allow. Can't all have everything. I would love everything, but unfortunately I can't. So I have become better at picking and choosing what I would like. Right, so I thought for this we would use the new Incolors, or some of the new Incolors. We have our Golden Glow, Barely Blush, Hydrangea Hue, Peaceful Pine, and Crisp Cantaloupe. I haven't used them a lot really, especially not together. Hi Michelle, thanks for joining. Hope you are well and have had a good week. Just saying we're going to be using the new Incolors because I haven't used them much, and I think it'll be brilliant for these little flowers. We've got our sketch, and I thought we'd use some of the Aritsan Sketched Garden Designer Series papers, which these are just black and white, quite simple, with patterns on one side, well, quieter patterns on one side and quite busy on the other. Lots of flowers going on in this, but I thought it'd be quite nice as a background for our flowers. So my thinking was, as we have this panel here, the blue one, we'd use a piece of this, and I was wondering about that, and then have our flowers on top, or maybe stripes. I just don't want them to get lost against the background, but those are one or the other of those we'll give a go. Hello Valerie. Oh, you've got a nice day in Newmarket. Yes, it's nice here. A little bit cloudy, but the sun keeps popping through, but the wind's just got up. But yeah, it's very warm. Very warm. Right, so swig of tea. And then we will get stamping. So we need images top and bottom corners, which that's okay. We can do some of that. So let me bring in some of my basic white, and we'll have some stems and foliage. I'm not saying I'm going to be using all of what I do, but we've got them then, haven't we, if we want them. I'm just going to snap away. I'm just thinking 3 of each, just for a starting point. And wasn't inked very well. And stamp these ones off, just so we've got a little bit of variation, because we have only got the one green in the colours we're using. I mean, we can change it up if we want to and add another green in, but I'm going to try and keep it to the Incolors. I'm sorry if my dog keeps going a bit hey-ho. She's obviously not happy about something. Just trying to fit these on the best way I can. There we go. And then we've got this little stem, which I'll wait to use the rest of that. You have probably already said this, but where do you get your card templates? Okay, these ones are from the Stampin' Lounge. It's a group of ladies in Australia that collectively are called the Stampin' Lounge, and they've put together this box. It's got 52 sketches in there for ideas, all with measurements. It's a lovely sturdy box. I will say it costs more to get it here from Australia than the box actually cost. But if you didn't want the expense of that, they do a downloadable version, PDF version, so that you can just have it on your computer and then print it out as and when you like. But other than that, I do just go online and search for card sketches, and in lots of groups on Facebook will put card sketches up and I'll use those. The Global Design Project do a sketch about once a month, so there's always theirs that you can use, past ones. And I also use Stampin' Up's sketches as well. Those out the catalogue. Right, so we've got all our green bits, and it is quicker for me to fussy cut than it is to die cut each one of these out. So let's just quickly cut some of these. And because they're not perfect straight lines or anything, I find it quite easy to cut. I am going to leave a bit there so that I can glue my flower onto the top, or my bud, as usually goes on this one for me. Let's see. So, how's everybody's weeks been? Not a problem, Valerie. I'm here to help. I'll go quiet, don't I, when I'm cutting. Sorry. Yeah, that's what I'm here for. Here to help, advise, entertain, inspire, all those things. That's what I love about doing this job. Not the selling. I mean, the selling's good because I make a little bit of money, but that's by the by. I love to inspire. I love to craft myself. And I love to inspire others. I joined Stampin' Up for the discount. I was a hobby demo for quite a while, and then I decided, you know what, let's just do what I'm doing, but see, like, inspire others and that, and help others out. And if I make a little bit of money along the way, excellent. But other than the products, it's the community that I stay for. I first got into Stampin' Up because of the colour coordination, the fact that the ink, the ribbon, the card, the papers, the embellishments all coordinate together. You can have the same colour of each one. Is amazing. I used to spend so much time at my local craft shops. I'd have some cardstock. I'm like, right, I need some ribbon to go with this for this card that I'm making, and trying to find stuff that coordinated. It didn't have to match, it just needed to coordinate with it. It takes so much time. And yeah, now I know, no matter what, if I buy, say, the Crisp Cantaloupe ink pad and cardstock, I know they're going to match, which is excellent. And that goes a long way in creating projects that look polished, for want of a better word. No, we all want our projects to look right. And having that coordination really helps. Oh, I'm being too pernickety here. There we go. Right. But yeah, it's the community that keeps me here. I've always been part of a fabulous team. I've got fabulous friends through Stampin' Up. I have met so many people. Some through online doing this, and others in person. But I love how flexible it is as well. Polished is a good word. It is a good word, isn't it, I suppose? Don't want them to look professional. That's not what I'm about. I like my cards to look handmade. All my cards would have something that perhaps a professional would say, oh wow, that's not quite right, and that doesn't look right there. But yeah, they're mine and they're made by me and I like them. Yes, Evangeline, I know. But you always choose this time to play. I was on here yesterday. I had a meeting online yesterday. And as soon as we started, she decided she wanted to play. Where have you put it? Find her ball. Go on, outside. Dear, oh dear. Right. She's just got this knack for wanting to play. As soon as I come on. I mean, I've been outside with her this morning. And I grabbed a ball and she chased it twice and then that was it. She didn't want to know. I think she's just a diva because I'm not paying her the attention. She doesn't like it. Right. I had to play with something different last night. How did my dog sit and go? Oh, it was brilliant, thank you. Yes, very relaxing. They were very chilled dogs. They're such well-behaved dogs. They really are. But yeah, I did a lot of sitting, a lot of chilling, sitting outside, and a lot of Netflix and stuff. The dog's dad always does me a list of things he's been watching to let me know, like, and try, see what I think. I watched the new Tiptoe. I think it's a BBC, isn't it? Channel, might be Channel 4, can't remember. But yeah, a stream that was really good. Really enjoyed that. Binged it over 2 days. Oh, excuse me. But yeah, it was a lovely weekend. Thank you. Hubby came on Saturday and brought us curry. And that was nice. He stayed for a few hours and then came home. But yeah, I'm away this weekend again. Me and hubby this time. Hayden's staying home. We're taking our car down to get to go and say show, because it's not a show. Everyone just sort of is there in their cars and having a good time, and we don't park them on the field and show them. It's at Beasley Shooting Ground. It's near Woking. So we're off down there tomorrow morning, actually. And I've been trying to get everything together, trying to think, right, what do we... It's been so long since I camped. Not that we're camping in a tent. And we've got a wooden cabin type thing, but it's just got 2 little type camp beds in, a chest of drawers and a sink. I can't do a tent. A tent would kill me, I think. It'd finish me off. But yeah, so we've got to take everything as though we were camping, and I'm like, right, what do we need? I says, as long as I've got my kettle, my cup, and my tea bags, I'll probably be all right. So I can have a cup of tea. There's food and everything there that we can buy, but we're just going to take a few snacks. I says we'll just take a pot noodle as a emergency type meal, just in case. It won't hurt for a weekend to live on rubbish. But yeah, be a nice weekend. It's very rare me and Dale go away together. Very rare. He's not one for visiting people. He's not one for staying away at other people's houses. And with having the dogs as well, someone's always needed to be home. So he's usually stayed at home when I've gone and vice versa. So yeah, it'd be nice. Be the first time we've took the car somewhere that's further than like an hour away. And that'll be nice, but we've got all day to get there. I've got meetings first thing. Should be finished by 10:30. And like we said, all the school traffic and that should be out the way by then. And then we'll head down. Have a few stops on the way because the fuel tank's not very big and it drinks. Be careful, it's meant to be hot. Yes, I know. That's another reason I'm glad I'm not in a tent. But there's lots of indoor places there. There are marquees and that. I mean, there's a restaurant because there's a hotel and that actually on the site. So there are places that we could escape into if need be. But thank you. I says if it's too much for me, we're taking the chairs. Camping chairs, and also the cabin that we're in. It's a line of about 5 or 6 cabins, I believe it is. And there's like a covered porch along the front walkway. Said I'll just sit under there. It's too much for me. I can't walk about like I used to. I'll just take it easy. And at least with having a sink, I'll have easy access to water, which is a big thing when you're camping, isn't it? Because I'm nosy, what car are you taking? It's okay. Thank you, Michelle. We have got a 1930 Model A sedan. And it's hot rodded 1950s styly. So it's got a big engine in it, and it's got big old tight wheels on it, and yeah, it's other than the actual body bit itself, none of it's original. But it's fun. And it's something we've been into. Gosh, my parents were into it as well. So I've been into it all my life, really. And it's how I met Dell. And we had a car before. Thank you. But we sold it, our last one, quite a few years ago. And we haven't done a lot because it's not the same when you haven't got a car. And so it's nice to get back to it. Dell swapped actually his last pickup for a project. And I was like, mistake. I had said no projects, but he went ahead anyway and got it, and he never did it. So we've been quite a while without a car. It's nice to have one again. Right. You watch, I'll do all this and we won't use half of these. But at least I've got them and I can arrange them then. I can see how they look. You always remember my dad had one? Yeah, Dad always had some sort of an American car or sort. I don't think I actually remember a time growing up that my dad didn't have an American car. It was, yeah. And I think it's sort of like, well, I say it's one of them hobbies that, like, because it takes up such a big part of your life, it's like, for me, being their child, you know, that's what our outings more or less revolved around. So, like, you don't have no choice really but to get into it. But neither of my sisters did. So, I mean, Hayden likes the cars. He goes away a couple of times a year, drag racing at Santa Pod. Him and his fella go there. We don't go because you can't take dogs. Right, let's do some flowers, shall we? That's not big enough, so we'll get a bigger piece. And then that's all the boring green stuff out the way. And we can have some nice, pretty flowers. And hydrangea hue, my favourite colour. I'll have a fair few in that, but I am going to stamp off some of these. And I like that it doesn't stamp perfect. It's because my ink's so juicy and I keep forgetting to take some off. But I like that. You know, what flowers are perfect? And then we'll have crisp cantaloupe. I'll have a couple of those. I don't know why I just didn't do them like that to begin with, but then we've got what we want. We can pick and choose what we use, and then we'll have Barely Blush for a smaller one. Will that fit there? It will. Okay, that's, you can hardly see it once it's stamped off. Maybe we'll do a couple more full strength of that. Beautiful. And then Golden Glow, because you know what, we may as well use all the colours. And we'll just do this little bud in the Golden Glow. There we go, we've got 3 of each of those. All right, now we need to go back and put the centres in, because I find if I'm doing tone on tone, for anything, and it's 2-step stamping, like little centres for the flowers, that if I let them dry a little bit, it shows up better. Now obviously on the ones that we've stamped off, it does anyway, but on the ones that we haven't, it shows up better too. That's my cat. I was like, what is that? It's that one. Crisp cantaloupe. Oops. Line that up there. I'm going to miss playing with this set. I did create a card yesterday. Yeah. With what I'm going to be playing with next month. Because I need to create a card using a specific set of items for a blog. So I used what I'm going to be playing with next month, and yeah, I can't wait. Especially for scrapbook pages. I will give you a sneak peek. Just a quick one. It's fun. Real fun, bright, colourful. Right. Chop some of these out. Again, it's cheaper, quicker to probably fussy cut than it is to die cut. By the time you've lined it up and run it through, quite simple images to do. So what's everyone else's plans for the weekend? It's going to be hot. I still haven't finished my garden. Still got jobs that need doing in there. But haven't we all? I mean, Hayden's partner he works for the local council, and he works for the Parks and Recreation or estate management, I think he is. So I keep sort of hoping that maybe, he'll just look at my place and think, well, that's not as good as the ones we keep for the council. So he'll do a bit. But who knows? I doubt it. A bit of a busman's holiday for him type thing. Out the way. Fabulous. In fact, I might just do 2 of each, and then if we want more, we can cut them out, can't we? Because we've got 2 of each to be getting on with. So yeah, this afternoon, Michelle's hoping to be heading off to the beach. Our garden is like a building. Her hubby's redoing the patio. Oh dear. Well, the beach would be lovely, especially if it's going to be as warm as it says, because at least you'll have the coolness from the water, won't you, and the breeze. But yeah, redoing don't you find though, it's like when you redo your house, isn't it? The mess doesn't just affect that actual area or that room that you're doing. It's everywhere. I mean, I still need to start doing my bedroom. But I'm like, I don't want the mess everywhere. But I always remember we had one of our rooms plastered at our old house. And we sealed it off and everything. But I'd got plaster dust for months after. Everywhere. I just hate mess like that. But I like the finished product. You're saying that Dell's got to redo our patio. It's sunk. Because where the top patio is used to be a pond, which we covered over when we moved back here because of Hayden. And I didn't want to look after a pond. And it's been fine. I mean, that was what, 16 years ago, and it was fine up until last year. And it started sinking in the middle where the pond was, so we need to get the slabs up and redo it. Yeah, especially when Luke goes out to help mud him. Oh yes. Yeah, luckily ours is just slabs. So it's not too bad, and they're just square slabs. It's nothing fancy. It was just what we put down and it stayed because it does the job. And the bottom patio, that's slabs as well, because that was the base for Hayden's playhouse when he was younger. And then when we got rid of that, I was like, right, might as well just use it as a seating area, as take it up and then have to try and grow the grass back or plant it. And it is nice. It's nice to have the two seating areas. We tend to use the top patio as a quick patio, like it's there, the chairs and that are there, easier, and they're better to sit on without the cushions. So if we're just popping out quick, we use that. And in the winter, we'll use that more. And then the bottom one's got the lounging sofa and that on it. So we use that one then. Hubby does plastering sometimes and he comes home with dust all over him. So still get the dust even though it's not my house. Oh dear. Oh dear. Yeah, I don't think I'd be too impressed with that. I get metal dust off Dell. And it's in my washing machine when I wash his clothes. Because he does wear overalls at work. And like he wears, because he has to wear full PPE when he's polishing. And he tapes his wrists, his the cuffs down on his overalls to try and stop the dust, and then he's got gauntlets and gloves and everything. But I mean, it gets everywhere, doesn't it? It's so fine, and I end up with a grey sludge inside my washing machine from the metal filings, which isn't good for your washing machine. Well, I mean, he blows himself off usually with the air hose at work. There's not a lot else he can do. I feel for him when it's weather like this. Because, yeah, he has to wear masks, a full, like, respirator mask and everything. And I just think, oh, poor person, poor person. in this heat. And they've got extractors and that, but it's still hot. Nicer in the winter though. Keeps him warm. Right, I will have one of these ones that are a bit arfy because I like the effect it's given. And then we'll start cutting things to put our card together. Right. It's only taken 40 minutes to get to that point, my gosh. Right, hopefully it won't take too long to pop it together now though. Right, I'm thinking which will these look better? I'm wondering if they will look better actually on the stripes. Oh, I don't know actually, I can make the most out. They do stand out better on the stripes, don't they? Yeah, we'll go with stripes. Alright, let's follow this. So B is 7 by 14.1. 14.1. And then we'll have a white card base, so we'll put that in a colour. I think it's either a colour or a bit of that behind it. Let's cut a strip of this and see. So that's E 1.2 by 11. Let's do it this way. By 11. Might just be nice to keep it all black and white except for the flowers. Yeah, that's quite nice like that. Yeah. Right. So I am going to do it on a white panel as always. Yeah, get metal and plastic filings too. I know that sludge. My washing machine gets a battering too. Half the beach when Luke's been for gosh. Wow. It is horrible though, isn't it? You know. Right, so we're going to pop that under there. So we'll have a little bit of glue. That way it looks better because it is a bit directional. And we'll add that there. I'm not being particular about it being exactly in the middle, just thereabouts is good for me. Look at that, it's gorgeous. I'll glue that on there. Have a bit of a bigger gap that side than top and bottom. There we go. That's nice. What does your hubby do then, Michelle? I want the heavier one at the bottom, I think. Let's have a bit of green to stick this on. Now you won't actually end up with much of this on the card, but the flowers need to be on something. Rather than just floating. can add in bits like that. I'm not sure about that. What would they look like coming down? Actually, it doesn't look too bad. We can have it coming down. And then I don't want to make it all lighter up there, but I think we might end up going that way. Just because of how it looks. I'll do that on there. We'll see how that turns out. That's the thing with these sets. You just turn into a flower arranger, don't you? Which has never been my strongest point. Yeah, quite like that. Or we could have it the other way. So that that's like just put some greenery around it. So we can go slightly over the edges. Yeah, because the card base will be underneath it. Right, so let's cut some of this green up because it's distracting and not where we want it. There's no need for it to be there. So, right, that bit needs to come off. Just so that we haven't got too much going on that we don't need. He has a home improvement. Oh! So metal comes from plumbing mostly, but he comes home covered and nowhere to clear it off beforehand. It's the rainy days when he gets soaking up. Oh gosh, yeah, I bet. Oh god. Is the saying true? A builder's home or home improvement type business that their homes are never finished? Because they say like a mechanic's car's never done, is it? You know. Right, so that can go there like that. I'm liking that, and I'm going to pop that on some dimensionals. Now, I don't always, as you perhaps know, do like this. I usually plan it out a little bit more and fiff and faff, but I've decided today I'm just going for it. I do wish Dale was a bit more handy. You know, he'll have a go, bless him. And he has made our fence and the gates, and so he can make stuff out of pallets. He's quite good at that. He made mud kitchens for the preschool when I worked there. But that's about as far as his abilities go. Drop that there. Then this one, oh, the glue stuck at the top. But yes, bless him, he tries. He'll give anything a go. And yet he used to fit kitchens. He worked for B&Q many, many years ago. Fitting kitchens. So he can do stuff. if you'd like to. You can go with a bit of that there, and then have some of these in here. Going to need some more. That's too much darkness. Okay, now a dark one there where I've got a dimensional, so I can't fit it, and then chop that to have that there. Right, so that needs to go down there. So let's chop the bottom off that and see that fits better. I'll stick that on. A little bit of glue. Put it in. We'll chop the bottom off that one. And that can go in there. Nice sticking out from there. Just a tiny bit of glue on that edge, so we can just tuck it in there so it looks like it's in between, which I like. And then chop that off as well, and that'll come out from, get it right there. Again, a bit of glue. There, and that needs gluing on. It hasn't stuck. That's okay, because we can glue it flat. Oops, underneath. There we go. Go along and trim those off after. That's that piece done. I'm liking that. Absolutely. However, we did start renovating our house when I was expecting Luke. Most of it's done, but we're still waiting on our room to be finished. The garden had to be done as we can't get out there at the moment. It's very tiered and the decking was on top of the shed. Gosh, the roof, oh dear. So it's being rebuilt with a slabbed patio on top, so has had to be moved. Wow. My gosh, what a job you've taken on, or he's taken on. But as a family, you've taken it on, haven't you? Wow. And started it when you were pregnant. That's men, isn't it? You know, they're full of these wise ideas. And I'm thinking for this bit, we just want a little bit of greenery. But I'm kind of thinking I don't want it dark, so I am just going to quickly stamp a couple of lighter ones. What's up here? The little one and my peaceful pine. But I'm sure it will look absolutely amazing once it's done. And it'll be well worth it. I'm trying to make sure that this one doesn't end up as full as this one. I want this one to be the main. In fact, use that. I don't want anything coming down that side. That would look nice coming from in there actually, but underneath, have I glued that edge down? Yeah. So if I chopped that there, just because we can, if I chop it carefully, I might be able to cut around and use that other bit. just a little bit tight. Yeah, like that. I like that. It's just a little bit sticking out, not too much. Just there. And sometimes by chopping the ends off, it means you can get them to be where you want them. Fingers crossed. I'm sure it will. Mind you, I'm in our garden. We've been here, like I say, 16 years. Yeah, 2010 we moved back in. And it's been a work in progress ever since. I'm finally getting it near enough. There's odd things now that I want doing, but on the whole, it'll do me. I'm happy with it. Right, so we're nearly there. We have a little bit there. Actually, yeah, I think that looks good there, even though I didn't want anything coming. I think it's better there than there. Yeah. Chop the bottom off that again. So it'll go under. Pop it under there. Right, let's chop that level there. And then we can chop that level. I'm not chopping the petal off, just the stems and that I want off. Right, let's move all my mess. I am wondering about putting one of these down here, just to fill that out a little bit. Not quite sure about this corner. Oh, that in there. That looks better, a bit fuller. Right, white card base. I'm thinking I might go coloured, but at the moment I'm thinking white. I do like keeping things, or we can go for a colour. We've got Barely Blush. That might be quite nice actually. Oops. Oh, come on. My goodness. Just to keep it pale, but looks better that way. Not that you can tell much difference really. Hydrangea hue. Just wondering if it takes away a little bit from the blue of the flowers. Barely Blush, white. I do like white. Try and get away from using white all the time, but sometimes it's needed. And I did just want to keep it black and white except for the flowers, didn't I? So it's nice, plain, simple. Right, let's grab some embellishments. And in here I have dots in those colours, or butterflies. I think the butterflies would look quite nice, wouldn't they? Butterflies fluttering along. I haven't put a sentiment on, have I? Silly me. Can do that quickly. Let's go for pink. I'll barely blush. and a golden glow. And then we'll just go for a white, a large white up here. Keeping that nice and simple. And then for sentiment, I have these sentiments, keeping it simple again, with the black and white. Sending hug. I don't think we want Merry Christmas, do we? Congratulations. Oh, I'm thinking the black would probably stand out better, wouldn't it? But let's see. That's a thank you. I'm liking the black actually. Don't know if I've got a black that's just a square. Oh, to the grad. Don't think I want them to the grad. Can you hear that? Every day, if you could. If you couldn't, it's a lorry whose horn plays Baby Shark. And every day he drives past here 5-6 times a day. Now, instead of a piece of card and a bow, I'm wondering how about we have a piece of ribbon. I've got a piece of Early Blush ribbon that we could just put underneath. Or, oh, I've got all the colours actually. The blue. Blue's a bit better, isn't it? Stands out a bit more. Hi, Kim. Thanks for joining. I'm just finishing off, actually. But thank you for popping on. We're using the Flowering Meadow to create a card with the Stampin' Lounge card sketch. Right, let me neaten that up and then measure that for there. Oops. I want it about there. Yeah, like that. Right, bit of tape down there. Get it straight. And pop that onto there. And then if we add dimensionals, mini ones to the back of here. Always late to the party. Better late than never, isn't that what they say? No, it's nice of you to pop on. It's taken me an hour to create one card that I thought, oh, it won't take that long. We'll be able to do another one after. I've got my next one all figured out. But one of those things. I'm going to pop that there so it sticks to there. Perfect. There we go. And inside, let's grab my mat with my mucky paper that I keep saying I'm going to give myself a nice new piece of paper. And we'll go with the blue, follow that through, hydrangea hue. Hi, Hayden. I'd love a cup of tea, please. I haven't finished that, it's gone cold. Thank you. Lovely. I even get to have a nice cup of tea. The older I get, the slower I am getting. I know that feeling. I am going to stamp it off and pop it at an angle like that. and pop the middle in. Beautiful. Yeah, I keep saying I'm going to have a new piece of grid paper, don't I? But I'm just like, you know what? For stamping off and messing, and why bother? Make the most of it. Oh, come on. It's because it's so warm and I left the lid off for a little while. Yeah, put it back on. There we go. Right, let's get rid of all that rubbish from away up from us. I'll clean all that up after. There we have our card using our card sketch. I really like that. Pleased with how that turned out. Kept it simple, besides the fussy cutting, I suppose. But yeah, pleased with that. I love a black and white with just a little bit of colour. Thank you, Kim. Yeah, I don't do it enough. I don't, should use more of my black and white. But you know what it's like, we've got all these gorgeous colours and you just like to use them, don't you? But yeah, I'm really pleased with that. Right, so let's switch cameras. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope that you have a go at creating a black and white card with some colour or using a card sketch. They're a great starting point. If you're a little bit lost sometimes, I know the DSP is superb, isn't it? I've just had a card go flying. Thank you, Valerie. Yeah, sometimes we all sit down, don't we, and we're like, right, what shall I create, where shall I start? And we've got that much stuff, we get a bit overwhelmed. So going and grabbing a card sketch, card layout from somewhere is a good starting point. I love using them. Right, so that's it for today. I will be back this evening at 7:30 and we shall be creating a scrapbook page using this week, and I'm going to the Flowering Meadow Bundle, and I'm going to stick with the Incolors as well, so I make it along the same lines as our card, I think, good to match. So if you're around, do join me then. If not, have a lovely weekend and I shall see you all next week. Thanks again. Bye. Thank you, Michelle.